right. Okay, so today, good evening, everybody. Once again, my name is Olabanji Winla. I'm a lead product manager. I think Favor has done a full introduction, and I'm excited to be having this conversation about becoming an AI-empowered product manager. Right? I'm excited to be having this conversation about becoming an AI-empowered product manager. Um, it's a conversation that I know that it's important to have. I remember when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, I didn't just want this to sound like a buzzword, because I know nowadays now AI has become a buzzword in the mouths of many people, right? AI has become a buzzword in the mouth of many people. And by the way, this conversation is a little bit, so I can say that we have some people that are just joining us. I can say that we have some product managers in our midst. I can also see that we have some I think I heard somebody being a software developer in our midst as well. And I'm also assuming that there are people who are not into tech but they're on this call as well, right? That are just joining this call maybe for the first time, but they are not into tech, or they just heard about this and they are curious about, oh, what does it mean to be an AI empowered product manager? So um um again, I will try. Maybe what I'll do is, for those that are joining us, maybe I should take a roll call. Let me take a roll call. If you are not a product manager on this call and you don't understand what product management entails generally, right? This session is not for that, but I want to be sure that maybe we have more product managers on the call, so that, and if we have more people who are not product managers on the call, I can quickly do like a quick explanation. Because if you don't fully understand the role of a product manager, the AI empowered part of it is just an addition, right? So becoming an AI empowered product manager, it means you are a product manager already, but now you are now leveraging AI to become a much more better product manager, which is what we're talking about. But if you don't understand product management first, then this conversation will be a little bit over the head. So, but just to be clear, right, let me take a roll call. I'm a product manager, so I like to do research. So if you know you are not a product manager on this call, and maybe you don't also, okay, let's say you are not a product manager, because some people might be in tech, but they might not necessarily understand the job of a product manager. Again, just because somebody is a developer now, I know I had a developer on the call. I don't know if we have a designer on the call. That does not mean the person understand product management. So let me just do it this way. If you are not a product manager on the call, just drop an emoji. Maybe emoji will help me. If you are not a product manager on the call, okay, please drop an emoji. 3, so that I can do a quick explanation. 4, 5, okay. Please drop an emoji if you are not a product manager on the call. 6, okay. 7, okay. Please drop an emoji so that I'm sure, so that I can quickly run through a quick explanation of what the product manager role means, because the AI empowered part of it is just an addition. Okay, so I can see about 7 persons. So it means most of us here on the call are product managers, or maybe you understand what the role of a product manager is. So I'll just do like a quick run through, right, of what product management is, for the sake of those that are not product managers, so that you sort of understand. Because yes, even though the conversation is going to be about AI empowered product management and how do you as a product manager today, transition yourself. And this is not just about buzzwords. I know a lot of people have been throwing around the word AI, left, right, and center, right? Over the last, at least I'll say since like this 2026. I'm sure many of you here would have heard the word, who has been hearing the word AI a lot, the whole of this 2026. It will feel like everybody's bombarding you with AI. You know, it's in short, it feels so loud that you cannot even ignore the word AI. Some of us will probably be hearing AI in our dream at this point. So, and the truth is, it's not a buzzword, and it's something you have to be mindful of, right? In any career that you do, safe, not just even for product management, anything you're doing in life today, you have to be mindful of AI, right? Everybody is no longer a buzzword, right? And it's not because some people are scared. Some people feel like, oh, are we trying to scare people? No, we're not trying to scare anybody. Just in case, this is not about fear. It's about having knowledge to be able to then make informed decisions about your career. because almost every career is going to be impacted one way or the other, right? So, but let me first, before we go into our conversation, let me just first clarify who a product manager is for those that might just be coming across this for the first time. Now, a product manager, let me use my actual definition. I like to use a particular kind of definition so that it is very clear. Now, product managers, our job or my job as a product manager is to make sure that I am building a product that solves problems for people and a product that helps a company to make profits. If I want to simplify the definition, now there are complex definition of product management, but a simple definition of product management is make sure that I build products that solve customers' problems, and on the other hand, help my company to make money. That's product management in its very essence, without mincing words, without beating around the bush. Now, there are more technical definitions of product management. There are more, again, if you go online and type what is product management, you probably come across, God knows, maybe 1,001 different definitions of product management. But in a simple term, what's the job of a product manager? It is to make sure you're building something that solves people's problem. In this case now, to be something that solves your company's customers' problems. And on the other hand, that same product also helps your company to make more money, right? So a product that solves customers' problems and a product that helps a company to make more money. That is your job as a product manager, right? So let me give an example for those that, are just probably hearing this for the first time or are just understanding this in perspective. Now, if I want to be more robust about this definition of product management, I'll start going into things like product managers will be involved in conceiving ideas, product managers will be involved in planning, product managers will be involved in working with the engineering team or the development team to build, product managers will be involved in testing what has been built, product managers will be involved in working with the marketing, sales team, growth team to take the product to the market. Product managers would then be involved in making sure that after that product has been taken to the market, people use the product. And I always say the holy grail of product management is product usage. The most important thing to you as a product manager is making sure that people actually use what you have built. And then finally, you withdraw the product away from the market, right? So it's a very holistic career path that has to do with making sure that products are successful. And what would we consider a successful product? Is a product that solves people's problems. It's a product that people keep using again and again and again, and a product that makes money back to the company. So our job as product managers is really, really broad. And again, thank God we have more product managers on the call, so they can probably not even probably, I'm sure every product manager can testify to how broad the product manager role is in the context of, you doing a lot. You can be involved in a lot, and sometimes it can even be overwhelming. And then sometimes you can feel like your head is under the water and you're trying to swim. I'm sure every product manager can relate to some of these conversations. But however, if you ask me, one of the beauty of product management for me personally is the fact that it drives my creativity, right? It drives my creativity. I'm always excited as a product manager. Sometimes it can be more stressful, obviously, but the fact that my job is not the same every single day is just exciting, right? The fact that my job is not the same every single day is just exciting for me as a product manager. So like some days are different, some days are simple, some days are hard, some days are, all over the place. And then some days are just straightforward, right? So, but got a long story short, it's a very interesting career. But now let's jump into, now that we have that foundation being set off, now we know that, okay, this is where a product manager is, this is what we do in product management. Now, to now come specifically to how do you now become an AI-empowered product manager? Like I said earlier, it's not a buzzword. And it's not about, everybody's just throwing AI around. Like I said earlier, everybody needs to be mindful of AI, every career. Now, it's not to scare you. Like I said earlier, it is to help you make an informed decision about how you want to approach your career. Right? It's not to scare anybody. It's to help everybody make an informed decision how you want to approach your career. Because if you look at the world in the days of typewriter, some of us, our parents used to use typewriter back in the days. This was before the days when computer became a big deal. Typewriter, people were so used to typewriter. By the time the world of computers came in, right, they became obsolete. And those who did not learn eventually lost touch. So you don't want to be in that situation. We're in that this next. I always tell people that, or I have been telling people now over the last couple of months, that the next 5 years is very pivotal for those who are willing to learn, right? Everybody, every career, everybody needs to understand how AI is going to impact their product, impact their career, impact their business, impact everything that they are doing, right? So, but now if we narrow this conversation down to being an AI empowered product manager, what does it mean? I have like 4 major points or 4 major shifts that you as a product manager, or you who is coming into product management, maybe somebody who is coming into product management, right? Someone who is coming into product management, or someone who is already a product manager, there's a way you have to evolve your role moving forward, right? There's a way you have to evolve your role. You can no longer be doing your job as a product manager the regular way you used to do your job 2-3 years ago, right? So there are 4 major shifts I'm going to focus on. Then I'm also going to talk about like the benefits of taking that major shift. Well, let me start with the 4 major shifts to start with. Knowing fully well that our job as product managers is to build products for people, right? Products that will solve customers' problems and products that will help companies to increase business value, right? The first major shift that you need to have in your mind as a product manager, either a new product manager or an experienced product manager, is you need to switch from thinking features to thinking AI capabilities, right? You need to switch from thinking features to thinking AI capabilities. Do you understand? So your mental model as a product manager needs to shift from, oh, I am creating features, to how can my product leverage AI capabilities to deliver, right? You need to shift from I am creating features to how can I leverage AI capability to deliver. Do you understand? So you cannot just be thinking about, oh, traditional software features right now. That time is already changing, right? You have to start thinking AI workflows, agentic workflows. That's agentic AI workflows or AI workflows. Because now I'll use a scenario, right? I'll use a scenario. So as a product manager, knowing fully well that our job is to identify, right? Our job is to identify problems that we want to solve for people, right? Our job is to identify problems that we want to solve for people, knowing fully that our job is to identify problems that we want to solve for people, right? And as product managers, we're always trying to find problems. For example, now you're finding friction points in a user journey, right? So if you're trying to find problems for people, if you're trying to identify problems and you're trying to create solutions to those problems, you need to stop thinking like I'm trying to build features and start thinking like, how can I build AI capabilities to solve this same problem? Do you understand? You need to stop thinking like I'm building features to how can I create AI capabilities to solve this problem. So you need to move from, oh, what features can I build, to how can we leverage AI to solve the same problem automatically. Basically, we are leveraging AI automation to do the same job. So let me create a scenario. So for example, if you work in an environment where, let's say, I want to use something random now. Let's say, for example, a logistics company, right? And you guys are maybe, for example, in the logistics company, I'll say maybe something like a GIG. Oh, Chooks works at GIG now, for example. Let's say something like a GIG or any of these logistics products, right? Or a DHL or FedEx, right? Now, in those kind of environments, there are certain friction points that users may have. Now, I cannot think of anyone top of head, but let's just say there are certain friction points. Now, instead of you focusing on how do I build features that solve these friction points, you then move to start thinking, how can we leverage AI to do the same friction points in a way whereby it is smarter, it is faster, it is more efficient, and maybe it even gets the user to get to the solution in a shorter period of time, which is good for user experience. Because if you look at this second point here that says define the AI value, it says move beyond hype And you can start asking questions like, can AI reduce the 3-step process to a 1-step process? Can we shorten the user flow or time to value leveraging AI capabilities instead of just building standard features? Right? Can we move from, oh, I want to solve this problem in, when we create a user flow as a product manager, when you're creating a user flow, you're saying, oh, step 1, the user will do this, step 2, the user will do that, step 3, the user will do this, step 4, the user will do that, step 5, the user will do this, step 6, and then you plan out the user flow. But now, is it possible you can, as a product manager who is thinking that from an AI empowered perspective, can you change your perspective from, instead of creating a user flow, can we build an AI capability into that same flow whereby the capability helps the user to achieve that same result faster in a shorter period of time instead of the user doing multiple clicks? Right? So instead of the user doing multiple clicks, can we simplify that experience? Now, let me come up with an example just to make this clearer. So let's say, for example, we are trying to build a, what's the name now? Let's say, for example, we're trying to build a, let me use banking. Let me use something that everybody use. All of us will use banking apps, right? We all send and receive money, right? Now, let's say you're trying to build a feature in your banking app, something around maybe account statements. Let's look at the account statement feature. For example, now I use the account statement feature a lot, right? For example, at the end of the month, at the beginning of a new month, I always check all my expenses, all my credit, all my expenses, just to know where money is going to. Because these days now, before you say Jack Robinson, you just see that you have money. Before you know, money has finished. And you'll be wondering, where did the money go to? Because these days now, you just feel like money is disappearing from your account. You cannot even. So I'm always checking my account statement with so much what will I call it that, with so much tenacity, because I want to know where the money is going to. Now, that thing, reviewing my account statement is stressful. Anybody who does something like this know that it's stressful manually. In my head, I still thought about it because I still reviewed my account statements. Today is June 6th now. I still did it maybe June 2nd or June 3rd. And having to go through 12 pages of the account statements and trying to look, okay, income, expense, inflow, outflow, and then trying to check each one, 12 pages. I didn't even check, I just scanned through, honestly. I could not read through the entire 12 pages, which is what I always typically, I just scanned through. But in my head, thinking about it now, how can a product manager in a bank restructure that entire experience and say, can we use AI capabilities to help AI features or AI experiences automate the way users get their account statements? Can we change the user flow? Instead of we building a feature that people then download the account statement on their phone, on their laptop, and then they review the statements, can we build or leverage AI, right? A model that helps people, right, automatically interpret the account statement for them. And even tell them and say, instead of you downloading a full statement, reading a 12-page account statement, can we use AI to summarize that statement and say, oh, 25% of your money, your income went to fuel. 15% of your income went to data. 12% went to sending to mommy. 30% went to Kinikon. 12% went to CarryWise for savings. Something I just automatically give you that information, right? Even without you even downloading anything. Like right inside the banking app, we can simplify the entire user flow of checking your account statements, and you can literally do it on one feature in the banking app that just automates that entire experience of understanding your account statements. Now, for those who want to read the statements, they'll still have the option to download the full 12-page account statement too, for those that want to go through it by themselves. But we can have an AI feature because most people may not have that time. Most people won't have that time, right? But For the few people that have the time, they can have the option to download. But for those that don't have the time, they can the product manager and their team can build an AI feature that helps us understand what everything that's happened in your account in one glance, without having to go through a 12-page account statement for the month. Right? It can help you understand. That is you leveraging AI capabilities instead of you just building a feature. Do you understand? And this is way more valuable, and this is going to be more valuable to the users than just building the whole or the current flow of account statement at the moment. This is more valuable. It saves you time, it saves you money, it gets you the information faster, and you can see everything in a quick glance. You can see everything in a quick glance, right? And it still solves the same problem for the customer by saving the customer, more time. And we can even, in my head right now, I'm even thinking about it, that it could even be more robust. The AI could read the information to you. We could even build it in a way, the bank could build it in a way by, we could even train the AI model to automatically compare your last month statement with your current month statement and tell you where you might be having lapses. That is smarter. So for example, now, I should have an AI in my banking app that just tells me, oh, April, you spent 15% of your income on fuel. But now in May, you spent 25% of your income on fuel. That is a 10% increase. They can even build the AI system to even let us know what triggered that 10% increase. Or if there's a way for us to identify what made you spend more money on fuel between April and May, so that you as an end user, you can know where your money is going. Because at the end of the day, what's the problem we're really trying to solve? Inability to know how your expenses or how your money is flowing out of your account. That's the problem we're trying to solve. And that's why people read the account statement. But what if we change the approach of the account statement and leverage AI to solve that same problem? It's smarter, it's more efficient, it's faster, it gets you the result, and the customer will even feel more satisfied. Because now you can be able to say, oh, I can compare my May statement to my April statement without having to read 12 pages of account statements. Right? Thereby getting the user to the same value in a shorter period of time. So when it comes to being an AI-empowered product manager, you need to shift your thinking from just building features to now thinking, how can we leverage some form of AI capability? Now, this will not be applicable to all features in your product. So please take note, this is not going to be applicable to all features in your product. However, right, you need to understand how this can be applicable to some features in your product. Number 2, tech stack is changing right now. Again, for those of us that are product managers and those of us in tech already, tech stack is changing right now. Right? Tech stack is changing. The world is moving into LLMs, large language learning models, machine learning models, and you don't need to be a software engineer to understand the capabilities and the constraints of AI models. It's something that you have to go and do further study on. Like this class or this session is not for going into tech stack and LLMs and MLMs and all that, right? That's a full conversation on its own. But you want to understand the context windows, token costs, hallucinations, all of these things. Some of us that use ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is very, 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 very famous for hallucinating. Has anybody experienced ChatGPT hallucination before? It can mess with your mind. If you are paying attention, you'll be like, what is this guy saying? You'll be like, what is this ChatGPT telling me right now? Because you just be lost. It's only somebody that does not understand hallucination that will think that ChatGPT is always correct. He hallucinates. So sometimes when you see what ChatGPT is coming up with, you'll be like, are you sure this thing is all right? Right? So you'll be wondering, what is this guy coming up with? So, and these are all dynamics because, for example, now that issue with ChatGPT, it can actually happen inside of the banking app. If I go back to the account statement feature that I just talked about, if the product manager and the team in charge of building that, AI capability into your account statements, instead of downloading account statements, going through, a bulky PDF and all that, that thing can also happen where the AI capability inside the banking app can hallucinate and start telling people wrong information. So you need to prepare for the risk, right? As a PM. And that's why you need to understand, LLMs, MLMs, and understand, how they work and what eventually leads to hallucinations. Because in a way, you cannot stop it from hallucinating. It's just how much does he hallucinate, right? My Gemini too, even though Gemini's hallucination is a little bit lesser than ChatGPT, Gemini is a little bit controllable. But sometimes when I notice my Gemini hallucination, I'm like, this guy is already going off track. And I have to say, guy, stick to. I'll literally write it on my chat and say, stick to the point of the conversation. Don't carry me to where I don't understand, because I don't know where you're taking me to. Do you get? So it's important to have this dynamic in mind. Then obviously, I'm sure a lot of us here, I'm sure a lot of us here do vibe coding, especially if you're a product manager, you vibe code on Lovable, on Claude, right? You can do a lot of experiments with Lovable, right? Lovable is very simple. Claude might be a little bit technical for some people. If you have an interest in something, you can use Claude to vibe code it out, right? You can use something to vibe code it out without necessarily having a full dev team on ground, so that you can at least have a proof of concept. This is one skill I think every product manager should already be doing by now. If you don't know how to vibe code, if you don't know how to use Lovable to create quick prototypes or proof of concept or MVPs, like literally, I can sit down here and create an MVP on Lovable in a think of an eye. Right? I can sit down here and create an MVP on Lovable in a think of an eye. And that's how every product manager should be in 2026. If you have a problem, if you have a proof of concept of what you want to build, if you have a proof of concept of, if you have an idea of what you want to create, right? You want to be able to give us a proof of concept. This is one of the things that is going to help you to earn more money out there. One of the things that people are now testing now is people who can build fast and test fast, right? People who can build fast and test fast. That's one of the things that is moving in the world today. People who can build fast and test fast. So vibe coding, even if you're not a technical person, at least you'll be able to vibe code. Go on Lovable, learn how to prompt correctly, learn how to put the right prompt, learn how to edit whatever Lovable gives to you, or Claude, so that you can always test. If you have an idea right now as a product manager, you cannot even be saying you want to use 2 months to do a test any longer. Except maybe you are building something extremely technical, right? Maybe something extremely technical. But if you are building basic product, basic features right now, 2-3 months is no longer a short time, or 2-3 months is now long, because somebody can literally sit down as I'm talking right now, and within the next 15 to 20 minutes, they vibe coded the idea out, and they can literally start testing in under an hour if everything is sorted. So if you are an AI empowered product manager, gone are the days of using 2-3 months to be testing ideas, especially if it's an idea that you can quickly vibe code. You don't need a development team, you don't need developers, you can quickly start doing your prompt engineering. Again, people call it different English, right? But maybe I'll say there's a slight difference, There's a slight difference. Some people can do basic vibe coding, but then some people can do prompt engineering, which is why I have to even separate it here. So people they know how to chain prompts together to build a complex workflow. So basically, it's still prompts, but they know how to organize their prompts in a way by that prompt to eventually lead that product to a complex product. In short, there are some people that they are called prompt engineers. It's a specialty. They are very good at driving prompts to create a robust product. I'll say vibe coding in its very essence is very basic. It's just that you need to know how to arrange the prompts, however, but it's very basic, right? But by the time you start moving from basic vibe coding to prompt engineering, knowing how to layer prompts together to create complex workflows or complex product flows, then you're becoming advanced with your vibe coding. That's where we can literally call you a prompt engineer. Some of you who search for remote jobs in the foreign markets, I'm sure you must have stumbled around roles called prompt engineers. And has anybody stumbled around those roles before? It's still vibe code, but it's just that it's a little bit more somebody who is good at using their prompts, someone who is good at prompting their AI tools, especially tools like Lovable, tools like Claude, right? It's still prompting. Don't mind the engineer behind it. The engineer always make it sound like as if you are coding and programming. You're not necessarily coding and programming. You're just prompting like a normal vibe coder. It's just that someone who has built the skill set of knowing how to use the right words, use the right information, use the right terms to guide their AI tools like Lovable, like Claude, to create complex products or product flows or workflows or products as a whole. So at a basic level, at least you should know how to vibe code. You should be able to say, I have this idea in my head. I have this problem I want to solve. I have these people I want to solve the problem for. Go on Lovable or Claude and then vibe code your proof of concept, more or less like your prototype, right? Or your MVP. Again, prototype is a little bit simpler. MVP is a little bit complex, right? It depends on what you're trying to build, right? Prototype is meant to be for internal testing. MVP is meant to be for external testing. Again, choose the one you want to do, and you can literally start testing your idea within 1 to 2 hours. You can share it with customers. You can send it to customers within 1 to 2 hours. That's the kind of product manager you have to be. Like I said, gone are the days where you are saying you want to validate something. You are spending 3 months validating. Those days have passed. Spending 3 months to validate ideas is no longer valid in our generation. This is 2026. You cannot say you're using 3 months to do idea validation any longer. Right? I remember starting an idea it was sometimes in February, March, and it all started from a vibe coding. But it started from a research, then I transferred it from the research, went on Lovable, vibe coded the idea out, and then literally tested it on Lovable. And then I shared it with people, and then it made sense, and then I just kept doubling down on that particular idea as of today. But it started out from a user research that I carried out, then went on to Lovable, vibe coded it literally in less than an hour, right? Have a concept, had an idea, edited it. Again, I used like my prompt engineering skills, pushed it forward, added some extra features, removed some features, renamed the product. I did a number of things on that product and then turned it into what I turned it into. Right? And meanwhile, before the world of AI, I wouldn't have been able to do that very fast. The way I was able to come up with that idea and the MVP of that idea, everything happened in roughly a day. Like roughly a day, I had an MVP. But then I now took like multiple days to then perfect it, right? So some ideas will drop, some feature sets will drop, then I'll put it on it, test it, I'll share it with a couple of people, they'll give me their feedback. If it makes sense, I double down on it. If it doesn't make sense, I remove it. Like I literally did that entire process, probably took me like everything all together, testing it with customers, like with a few people, sending it to them, bringing it back again, optimizing it on Lovable again, going back again. Everything didn't take me like 2-3 weeks. I was just basically optimizing. As I was finishing it, I'll send the Lovable link to a couple of people. They look at it, they play around with it, they give me their feedback. I use their feedback. I go back to Lovable. I see the feedback that makes sense, especially if it's a high frequency, high intensity interpretation of their feedback. I go on Lovable. I reprompt it again, fix the issue, go back again, share with them till I had what I would consider a robust MVP at the end of the day. But it started out from something I did in less than an hour. Then I made it better in less than a day. Then I perfected it. Like, I don't want to say perfect now, but I made it much more robust over a period of 3 weeks without having a developer to jump on it. And I was conducting user research with it in real time. That was something I really enjoyed because I was just sending the link to customers, a few people. They give me their feedback. I look at it again. I weigh the feedback that they gave me then go back and say, okay, this one I can change, this one I don't need to change, this one I can add, this one I need to add, this one I can remove. Basically, what we do as product managers. So then moving forward, right? One of the areas I feel like is going to be a very, very, very big deal moving forward in the world of AI will be governance, compliance. If you ask me now that if you want to specialize in AI, if anybody wants to specialize in AI and are looking for a very good place to specialize, go and specialize in AI governance, AI compliance. Hmm. That's fits inside of AI. I can tell you guys that face inside of AI, that face that space. Why did I say face? Is going to be massive in the near future. AI compliance, AI security, AI governance. It's going to be a big space in the very. Why am I saying future? Like over the next day, because more people are building AI products. The biggest challenge of building AI products now is the governance, the compliance, governance, compliance. What's the final one I mentioned now? Because those things can be different, even though they have some relationship, right? So, for example, one of the strength of any AI products is data. So you want to build your data flywheel, right? Meaning having enough data source, AI security. Thank you, Favor. So having enough data source that will make your AI smarter over time. The reason why products like Gemini, ChatGPT, they get better over time is because the more we use them, the smarter they become. The more data they have, the more difference in data or difference in information that they have, right? And which guides how better they become. Do you understand? So, for example, if you have, for example, now, right, I'm working on a product that has to do with, finding charging stations and EV charging stations and all that, right? And in my head, I'm like, the more charging station data we can collect, the more predictive maintenance and site selection models will become, right? So which means the more we understand how charging stations and how they use the charging stations and how, existing charging stations in terms of how many hours do they charge, how long do they charge, how long do they charge a Tesla, how long do they charge a BYD, how long do they charge a Xiaomi. Trying to understand all of those things, we have to build an AI system that would continue learning about the dynamics of each vehicle charging dynamics. A Tesla, a BYD, a Shangan, a GSC, and because they all have different nuances in their charging experience. So it means we have to build an AI system that helps us predict people's charging culture, helps us predict maintenance of it, not just even people's charging culture, we could also predict maintenance of the charging station itself and things like that, right? So when it comes to being an AI empowered product manager, you need to have this in mind, that understanding that data is the lifeblood of AI. Have that in mind. Data is the lifeblood of AI, right? Anything about AI is data. It's all data. For example, now the context of the what's the name, the banking app account statement I talked about is data. All the banks just need to do, or a product manager in a bank needs to do, is to train the AI model on plenty of different bank statements. They need to train it on thousands, if not millions, of bank statements, right? They need to give you those information and then train it on how to identify the differences in the bank statements, how to define them, how to correlate them, how to, basically, the more data you train it on, the better the AI system becomes to be able to help users who are going to use it for automating and understanding their bank statements instead of reading. Do you understand? So then you also want to be responsible with AI as well. You want to be very, very, very responsible with AI, right? This, like I said, data governance, data AI security. These are areas that they're going to be like a very big deal, right, in moving things forward. Now, the final fourth thing I want to highlight is optimizing the product and project divide, because we all know that there's a difference between product and project management. So aside from knowing that, oh, okay, you have to shift your mindset from features to AI capabilities. You have to shift your mindset from, your regular tech stack that we used to understand now to the tech stack of AI, LLMs, MLMs, vibe coding, prompt engineering, right? You have to shift your mindset from, oh, just building products now to understanding data governance, data compliance, data security, so that you can be responsible with leveraging AI. Then the final thing is optimizing the difference between a project and a product. And when I was thinking about this, I was like, we all know that there's a difference between product and project management, but how does it apply in the world of AI? For example, you can use AI agents to undo the grunt work of project management. And I feel like that's where all these our Jira and Asana, that's where they are going to come in over time. We won't be doing them much. They're already getting there. Maybe not as robust as they should be, but they are getting there. The days of moving Jira tickets is going to pass us in a while. All those days of you going on your Jira ticket and be all these things now, we can build AI agents for them that automatically does those things for you, integrated into your work environment. As the work is being done, the AI agents move the ticket and the task for you on Jira, or check the task to be done on your Trello or Asana board, right? And then from the context of project and product management, you can now use the time that you've saved to focus on high level discovery, customer interviews, right? So from the context of product management, you can now use, high level discoveries, customer interviews, and then you can refine your vision, which is basically what I did. Like I said, you guys, that's when I talk about the 3 weeks timeline. That's what I simply did, right? So I was able to now put my energy on doing customer research, sending the lovable link to people for people to interact with. Then during their interaction, that gave me more suggestions. And I looked at it and then I updated it and I did it again. I updated it. So it just moved me quickly through understanding what people want. So in being an AI empowered product manager, you want to go through this first shift at a basic level, right? You want to move from using tools to become more or less like a strategic operator of intelligence. Don't worry, this particular statement, strategic operator of intelligence, I took it from AI because I was looking for a particular word to use. So I went to my Gemini and said, okay, what should people move to in 2026? And he said, you have to move from simply using tools. If you're a product manager, and not just even product managers, if I think every career right now, if your tool, any tool you're using in your career right now that can be automated, you can bet that tool is eventually going to be automated. Any tool you're using right now that can be automated is going to eventually be automated. If it's not automated right now, it's going to be automated very soon. So you want to switch your mindset from using tools to being an operator of the intelligence of those tools, meaning being able to manage the automation process instead of you doing the work. So let me use something normal. Don't let me use something technical. So for example, you can automate your WhatsApp to reply by itself. Does anybody know that? You can automate your WhatsApp to reply by itself. People are already doing interesting stuff. Like, you will not be the one replying to most of your WhatsApp message, like, if you don't want to. You can actually build system that will automate your WhatsApp to reply by itself. And that one is not even as technical as people might make it sound. It's not as that deep like that. Obviously, you need to learn some things, right? But it's not as that deep. Oh, I can see some people confirming, right? Bolaji, Toyin, you can automate some of these things. Faith says, I automated most of the things on my end. And when you automate like that, it makes you shift your focus from using those tools to now focusing on more high-level things. So you see, your fundamental shift from being a reactive task manager to a proactive architect of product outcomes. And this is where I'm going to sort of start winding down. You want to move from doing things to being the creator of outcomes. Because the world of tech and the world of product, right? And again, I don't want to limit this to product management since we have more people that are not just product managers here. The world of product management has moved away from, or is moving gradually away from just you knowing how to use tools, or you just knowing how to manage tools, right? Is moving gradually to you architecting or being the creator of outcomes, basically the end result of your work, right? So what do I mean? So let's say, for example, you're a product manager in a travel and tourism company like Waka now, right? The days of you just building and managing Wakanal's website, Wakanal's app, Wakanal's digital products, that days or those days are going to fast leave us behind, because we'll not start. For example, we can integrate AI agents that even does all these app updates. That's where we're still going. Where you even your developers will need to push updates themselves again. An AI agent to be executing app updates when it sees the parameters to execute app updates. So where our work will start moving towards as PMs will not be managing the outcomes of what those AI are doing. Right? Just like my friend Grace said, we're going to move to people who are managing AI agents. That's where we're going to move to. Where you'll be the one managing the work that the AI agents are doing. And you're not necessarily doing the work, but you're managing the agents that are doing the work. And I say agents now, these are AIs, not human beings. So your workflow shifts from I am a product manager that can manage and build products to I am a product manager that knows how to leverage AI to manage and build products. That's where the dynamic is changing. So in becoming an AI empowered product manager, again, as I wind down this conversation, your shift should move from features to AI capabilities. 2, start focusing on the new tech stack of our generation: LLMs, MLMs, vibe coding, prompt engineering. You have to be very big on data governance, data compliance, data security. AI can hallucinate, right? And it will hallucinate, right? You have to be big on that. In short, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who niche down into AI governance, AI security, AI compliance. I feel like they're going to make crazy money. In short, it's just that I'm not a fan of things like that. Personally, I would have done it myself. Well, if you niche down to anything AI governance, AI security, AI compliance, it's already becoming a big deal, but it's even going to become more big deal because of the way the world is going. And then from a product manager perspective, leverage. In short, I am somewhat scared for project manager roles, honestly. Right? Favor was talking about we introducing project management training. I'm just like, I'm somewhat scared for them, honestly, because looking at the way AI agents are going, yes, I'm not saying project managers will be irrelevant too, but with the way AI agents are going, it's not far away, right? It's not far away. It's not far away at all. But now for product managers, the ability to the fact that you can move from managing your work to managing AI that does the work, right, is an advantage. Now, somebody might be wondering, won't AI eventually take the job? Chuk said that's why project managers are moving to operations, right? So now, and I'll use this to wrap up. Somebody might be wondering, won't AI take a product manager's job? Who is asking that question? Who is asking that? Who is thinking about it in their mind? Is there? I mean, nobody is thinking about it. That okay, we that were saying we are product managers. Say AI will not take our job because it's worthy of asking, right? Because it's important for us to ask that question. That hey, say AI will not take product manager's job like this. Okay, so I'll give us a couple of reasons, right? Um, Funniest thing is that the reasons why AI will not take a product manager job. Now there are many parts of a product manager's job that AI will take, right? And we're already seeing some of it. Or AI will supercharge. Maybe I should use the word supercharge, right? I'm already seeing some of it. Mr. Sunday is raising his hand. Okay, let's quickly take okay, before we take your question, Mr. Sunday, let me just quickly run through this so that we'll put everything together before we take your question. Now, the biggest reason why AI will not take a product manager's job is largely because product management is a human-centric discipline, right? Product management, at the heart of product management, all of us that are product managers here knows that our hardest job is managing people. All of us, I'm sure all the product managers in the house, you cannot testify to this. It's stakeholder management. The hardest job of all of us PM is managing people. It's stakeholder management. Is working with the developers, working with the designers, working with the marketing team, working with, depending on how your company is structured. The hardest part of our job is actually managing people. And right now, managing people is not something that AI can do because AI does not have emotions. AI does not have emotions. So if there's one thing you want to continue to double down on, thank you. Michael has added, AI cannot scope engineers. AI does not have soft skills, doesn't have emotions. You cannot understand when an engineer is having mood swing. You cannot understand when an engineer is having mood swing or an engineer has collected breakfast. So this is the number one reason why AI cannot take your job as a product manager. And for maybe those that are considering becoming a product manager, if you are wondering whether AI will take a product manager's job, this is the number one reason. Because a large chunk of a product manager's job relies on managing people. Right? Now, let me also create a little bit of, let me play like devil's advocate. Right? Now, we all know that some roles are beginning to become more AI-led than human-led at certain levels. For example, Lovable is already designing high fidelity, which means even designers' jobs are slightly at risk. It's just that at a high level, you still need a designer to do design systems. You still need a designer to do design architecture. These are things that AI will not be able to do, unfortunately. Maybe right now, but at least at a fundamental high fidelity level, Lovable is already designing. Claude is already designing high fidelity. And Lovable Claude will do it in a fraction of the same time that you give a human designer to do that same design. Right? So, but it's just that at a big scale, eventually you need like a senior designer to do your design architecture, design systems, and all that, right? At a high level, the company will eventually still need somebody to do the design architecture and design system because AI will not do that for you. But my point here is the world is going to shift a little bit more to not just managing people, but managing agents, which I highlighted earlier, right? That's one thing the world is going to shift to as PMs, because nobody is still going to leave AI agents to run unattended to, right? No matter how good AI gets, right, it's not going to be left unattended to. Governments will not allow it, regulations will not allow it, regulators will not allow it. They're not going to leave, nobody's going to leave an AI agent unattended that is just going to be running and doing things on his own. Except you want AI to take over the world. If you leave AI alone, we just turn to Terminator. We just come and shoot all of us. They'll just get a throw bomb. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to leave AI alone to go and do what you like. You still need people to manage AI. So even as the world evolves, we're not saying the job of designers will be 100% gone, or the job of developers will be 100% gone. No, you still need developers, you still need designers. It's just that now the need for junior designers and junior developers will drop, and the need for senior ones is going up. And sure, that's what's already happening right now. The need for junior developers, the need for junior designers has dropped significantly. But the need for senior developers, senior designers have gone up significantly as well. Or don't let me say significant, but has gone up. Right? And it's because of this particular reason. So, which is why, you know, number one, like I said, a product manager's job is largely human focused. And even when we have more AI agents doing more work, companies will still need somebody that understands how to manage the agents, which is why as a product manager, you have to start switching your context gradually from not just managing people to learning how to manage AI itself. Right? That's one thing I would recommend. Start learning how to manage AI itself, not just managing people now, but managing the AI that will do the work. Because eventually, regulatory bodies, compliance bodies would eventually, which is it's already gradually happening. You can't leave AI just to be doing what it likes. No company does that. Every year, all of us can say, oh, it's automated, but we all know that, it's not even that we all know, there are compliance systems, there are regulatory systems that say you cannot leave AI just to be doing its own. There are people who are still mentioning that keeping the AI in check. And that's where product managers will come into play. Now, the second area that product managers will be instrumental is context and judgment. This is something that AI cannot fully, truly understand because you are dealing with human beings. Customers are human beings, and human beings, their needs are always changing. The needs of customers are always changing. The needs of users are always changing. So because people's needs are always changing, a lot of things about building products is contextual. You cannot build products for people in Lagos and then build the product the same way for people in Kaduna State. These are some of the things that AI will not be able to truly understand to its very nuance. You cannot build products for people the same way in Lagos and then build it the same way in Kaduna. You cannot deliver products the same way in Oyo State and then deliver it the same way in Zamfara State. No, you cannot do that. These are some of the things that AI will never be able to get fully. Not because AI models will get better, but all of these things, I call it contextual understanding. And this is where human beings and product managers will still have leverage. Contextual understanding. And anybody who has delivered products in different states in Nigeria probably understand it. If you are here, you've delivered products in different states. You understand that the way you deliver your products in Lagos is not even the way you deliver the products in Ibadan. Ibadan here or Ibadan that is how many hours away from Lagos? You slightly have to tweak the user experience, tweak the product delivery, maybe even sometimes reduce the price in Ibadan in comparison to how the price is in Lagos, and vice versa. These are things that AI will not be able to understand the nuances of those contexts and why those decisions are being taken. And that's why a product manager role will still be relevant. AI cannot take that job from you. Your role is still relevant in context of contextual understanding. And because human needs are insatiable, the context is always changing. So we cannot say, oh, we'll train the AI model on everybody's context. Because human needs are insatiable, people's context change. Ibadan now, for example, is becoming expensive. I went to Ibadan and I'm like, I used to think Ibadan would be like ridiculously cheap. Anybody that lives in Ibadan, or if you've gone to Ibadan of late, Ibadan is no longer the Ibadan you knew some 5-6 years ago. Ibadan is becoming a city. It's no longer just brown roof. People are already paying 2 million, 3 million, 4 million for house rent in Ibadan. Just so you know. If you go to some certain estates, people are paying 2-3 million for 2-bedroom apartments in Ibadan. And you'll be wondering how, but it's already happening. So, meanwhile, if somebody built based on the context of Ibadan 5-6 years ago, that time has passed. And with the way Ibadan is going, probably because of its close proximity to Lagos, it will most likely be a Lagos in another 5-10 years. You start to see significant high-rise establishments. You start to see a lot of real estate companies who start building all these their plenty estates, which is already happening in Ibadan. It's just that maybe the scale is not yet at Lagos scale. So if you want to build products for Ibadan in the next 5 to 10 years, You have to build differently than even what you're building now in 2026, because the context is changing. And these are some of the dynamics that AI would never truly understand, because all of these things are contextual. And that's one of the reasons why, again, AI cannot take your job as a product manager. So I've said, number one, our job is very human centric, very focused on managing people. And even over time, as we move to managing agents, right, companies still need people to manage the agents. No agent is going to be left, no AI agents will be left to be roam free. Number two, context. And then obviously, I've talked about data governance, data security, AI compliance, AI security, AI governance. Those things are going to be one of the biggest places where product managers are going to play in. Like I also said, in short, some people will niche down to become, AI governance experts, AI compliance, or AI security. Even the word of cyber security is changing in the context of AI, right? So these are the three major areas where I would say AI cannot take our job. There are some other ones: managing stakeholders, managing leadership, those ones are there. But I'll say these three. Our role is very human centric. Our role is very contextual driven, right? And then our role is still going to come down to ethical oversight, compliance, governance, security, making sure that AI have sense. You have to put AI in check, right? So, to cut the long story short, right, as you are moving forward in your career as a product manager, you have to start thinking beyond just how we used to build products even 2, 3, 4 years ago, to start thinking, how do we build products now going into the future? Again, as I recap on everything I said, number one, shift your mindset from features to AI capabilities. Number two, start looking at the new tech stack of how products are built in today's generation. Number three, data-driven strategy, data governance, data compliance, data security is now a big deal, and that should be a big deal for you as a PM. And then obviously start leveraging AI agents to do your project side, while you can put your energy on your product side in terms of customer discovery, user experience, customer interviews. Those are things that AI will not be able to do effectively, because those things are contextual. Talking to people is contextual. Conducting user research is contextual. Very, very contextual, right? If you train an AI model to conduct a user research now, it will just be asking the questions, and then maybe if you give it some parameters, it will work around those parameters. But what if the human being the AI is talking to does not meet the parameter? And all of us all know that all of us human beings, we are all dynamic. We are not, all of us don't, all our belly no face one place. We are not machines. We have emotions. We have good days. We have bad days. We have feelings, and those changes how we behave and how we act. And because it's not the same on a daily basis, right? It means that impacts that it has to be another human being that understand that dynamic to do those research, to understand you as well. A robot, all the people that are doing robot husband and robot wife, they are just scamming themselves. I'm sure people have seen some of those videos. Robot wife, robot husband, especially in Asian countries, Japan and co. They scam themselves, because nothing will come out of it because no parameter they would have trained the robot on. As a human being, your emotions are all over the place. Even we human beings have not understand we human beings. We human beings, we have not understand ourselves finish. That's when robots want to come and understand us. We human beings, we've not understand ourselves finish. Husband and wife still used to fight. Mommy and children still used to fight. Brother and sister still used to fight. Not now talk of you now bring one robot that will come and understand you. All those people are just wasting their time because I don't understand. Human being to human being have not understand ourselves finish. You are saying robots will understand you better. It's okay. Continue. But anyways, this brings us to the end of this conversation on being AI empowered, right? Start changing your mindset, start changing your thought process as a PM. And if you're a new product manager here, or you are someone who's just starting out in product management, this is the direction that you have to start thinking. You cannot be thinking like how even we have been doing product management for some years now. You cannot think like how we used to think again. you should be starting your career with this as your forefront. You should be starting your career with this mindset as your forefront from 2026 and beyond. Right? You cannot start out how we used to do product management, so the basic way. You can find a problem, then you can do your user research, then you can build, you get developers, build an MVP, might spend 3 months building your MVP, and you can test. How those days are becoming a little bit behind us. We're now moving into where you can do rapid testing in less than 24 hours. You can test out a feature, test out an idea. You don't need a developer to do that. You can have an idea, test it out, send it to users within 24 hours, get their feedback if you are very sharp within 24 hours. You can know what to change, know what to remove, know what to improve literally within 24 hours. So those days of spending 3 months trying to validate ideas is gradually becoming a past. Now, you might still need to do longer type of idea validation, maybe if the product is complex or the problem you're trying to solve is very nuanced or very contextual. Again, these are the areas where product managers will still be needed, because there are some problems that you want to solve that is nuanced. It's very, very contextual. You need to understand the context of that. For example, now, solving some problems in Nigeria is contextual. You cannot bring foreign products to solve those problems in Nigeria. Very, very contextual. You have to solve it the Nigerian way. If you carry one product from America and come, it won't work. There are many products like that. In short, that's why our tech industry is booming on its own, because we have to build for our own people, with the way our people use products and with the way our people behave. We cannot build based on what happens in America or what's happening in the UK. Even if what's happening in America and the UK is more advanced, you have to build for Nigeria. And inside Nigeria now, you still have to build for Lagosians separate, build for Ibadan people slightly separate, build for Kaduna people slightly separate, build for Ilorin people slightly separate, just to suit the context or the nuance of each environment. Right? But at the end of the day, you should always be thinking, how can I leverage AI to get this thing done faster, more efficiently, more effectively? And that brings us to the end of this conversation. Thank you for listening to my plenty talk. So before we take questions, please drop an emoji if you understood everything that I've explained. I'll start with Sunday, because some Mr. Sunday's hand raised here. I can see Patience hands. I know Chooks also asked the question. Right. Okay, so let's start with Mr. Sunday. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunday. Over to you. Your question.
Okay, my question is your journey, either as an old school product manager or you are new to product management, at what stage should one incorporate AI into your routine, into your thought process? At what stage exactly? I'm asking because I'm coming from a process process business engineering, business process engineering. That's where I'm actually coming from. There was a
Right.
time like that. I just quickly want to use this to buttress my point, where we're having issue with some processes, and they have been, the normal Gen Z now, they just put all the old processes in AI and then come up with all processes. I was just looking at them and I just mine on the paper, then put it on the process flow, and then use AI to use. You know, people are like this. I thought you guys don't use AI. Okay. Oh. So, and it turned out way better, much more strategic info and insight. Like, wow, you guys, we are going to teach us this one. Oh. So, my question is, at what point in your journey, or as you're about to start, should one incorporate this AI in your thought process and your workflow? So that response will determine my response. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. So there's one thing that we cannot take away, and I like the example that you gave, that when the Gen Zs did it, they just did their own. But now, for someone like yourself that had more experience, there was a way you were able to leverage the AI better. And this is where we cannot remove the perspective of having fundamental knowledge, right? So leveraging AI does not remove having fundamental knowledge about product management, for example, generally. You cannot say, oh, you just wake up and can start using AI just because you can use AI. If you don't have the right fundamental knowledge on how to leverage those tools, right? Or I say leverage those tools. If you don't have the right fundamental knowledge on AI, on product management generally, right? Then leveraging how to use AI is also just, it means your ability to leverage AI is still going to be shallow. So please, this does not remove fundamental understanding of your core skill sets. For example, if you don't fully understand what product management entails, leveraging AI in product management is like you're building on a foundation that is not solid. And if you don't have solid foundation, it's going to collapse. Like you say, the foundation be destroyed. What can you do? It's going to collapse. So please, thank you for this question that you really asked, Mr. Sunday, because when you look at it, a lot of people are actually jumping the gun. So maybe because I also didn't even talk about the importance of the foundation of everything you are doing. Because if you don't understand the foundation of product management at its very core, again, I think I did actually when I asked about, is there anybody that understand what product management is, and I defined product management, and I said, oh, product management at its very core is about solving problems and helping companies to make money. I said it. Yeah, I remember saying it. So I was talking about it from the perspective of maybe those that are on the core, that maybe they don't understand what product management is about. Because no matter what you're doing, whether you're using AI or you're not using AI, the core of product management still remains the same: solve problems, make money for your company with your products. Solve problems, make money for the company. So anything you are doing with AI that does not achieve those two goals fundamentally, you are still just wasting your time. You're not still being effective. You're not being effective. So it really doesn't matter if you can use the AI tool, no matter how well you can use an AI tool or leverage an AI agent, if you still cannot fundamentally solve problems for customers, something tangible that affects customers' life on a day-to-day basis, if you cannot help your company to make more money leveraging AI and agentic AI or save money, then what's the essence of your knowledge then? If you remember in the last slide, you said your focus should move to architect of product outcomes, not just building products, not just managing products, but you are architecting outcomes. Like there's a result you are bringing out of anything you are doing. AI is just a means to an end in achieving that result. AI is not the end in itself. So please don't don't AI is not the end in itself. AI is a means to an end. Just like how we say every product is a means to an end, AI in itself is also a means to an end. AI is not the end in itself. We leverage AI to do more. We leverage AI to achieve more, not necessarily to now make AI the thing. AI is not the thing. Do we understand? So I hope that answers your question. So in the context of what time, right? For in terms of what time, to maybe specifically answer your question, is saying you must first have the fundamental knowledge about product management and about what you're working on, about your product, about your company. Those fundamental knowledge must be sorted, must be grounded, right? Now, leveraging AI will now come into play after your fundamental knowledge is grounded or is sorted. So, your fundamental knowledge about product management, your fundamental knowledge about your product or the product you are trying to build, your fundamental understanding about the problem you are trying to solve. So, you must know your fundamentals. For example, now using AI to solve a problem, but if you don't understand the problem at its very nitty gritty details, how will you then know how to use AI to solve the problem? I hope that answers your question, Mr. Sunday. So understanding the fundamentals
Yes, it
is
does.
more
It does.
is very important. You can't just wake up and start using AI without knowing your fundamentals.
It does. Okay, my second question is a bit of strategic. I'm
Okay.
currently working on a product, as a product manager, sorry, one of my core role is to develop a product that is more efficient than my competitors, or even
Okay.
novel that my competitor is not in any way, what is it called, out in their product line. And it's not unknown, it's a common knowledge that OpenAI and cloud use my data I'm using their platform to train their models
Right.
and even share with that. Should I be concerned using AI
Hmm.
knowing that my competitor will have or may have direct access or even backend listening to that? Should I be concerned using AI?
Yes, so you should be concerned. And these are areas where data governance, data compliance, data security start to come into play. You have to be concerned because if your competitor is going to have access to the data that is your data, they are using to either train your model, empower your model, or you're leveraging that data. Um, um, so, 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 in a nutshell, to make sure that to make sure that to make sure that my train of thought, I don't want to lose my train of thought. So to make sure that you are not to make sure that you are not putting your product at risk of exposing it to competitors, even though honestly the way competition is going to change, even me, I'm just imagining what's going to happen. I don't know what is going to happen too, honestly, right? But you have to create defensive AI. But personally, well, I think the best defensibility anybody can do moving forward is to make sure that your product, you have a good brand, you have a good brand perception among your customers, right? You have a good brand perception among your customers. If there's anything, I always tell people that have a good brand, because branding is something that you know you cannot copy. Branding is something that you cannot steal. Branding is something that you know you cannot. For example, now somebody can copy Apple features, but the person will never be an Apple. No matter how you copy, there are some phones that are better than Apple phones, than iPhone. I'm sure we all know that in terms of features, in terms of cameras, in terms of capability, but they can never just be an iPhone. That's one of the strengths of Apple, for example. It's not because Apple phones are the best ones in the world. Apple is not the best phones in the world. Right? There are much more better smartphones with better features and better capabilities, even better cameras. It's just those phones could
Ido,
never.
please go away. You say Techno cannot be iPhone. Is that what we are talking about?
No, no, now why will you put techno now, brother? Why will you put techno? Techno, why? No, now techno and iPhone, they are not even in the same league at all. They are not supposed to be brought into the same conversation. You never mention Samsung or Xiaomi. Anyways, but yeah, data security, data compliance, and data governance is a big deal when it comes to competitors and how you're able to defend yourself. But I also think that defensibility also come down to branding. Defensibility will come down to branding, right? Branding is going to it's going to be a very big deal. For example, one of the advantages that Gemini is enjoying today is still Google's brand, though. That's one of the advantages that Gemini is enjoying because Gemini came late. Gemini came late to the party, but somehow Gemini has been able to found his foot. And it's because it's Google's brand. It's under Google, and then they're able to integrate it into Google's ecosystem ASAP, and then they're able to build around their brand around it. So, but I hope that answers your question, Sha. But you putting your products, putting your data in a way that's competitor can have access to it is not recommended. Even though I don't know how much one can defend against it with the way the world is going.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
very much for the insight, at least to some extent.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So let's take um I think I saw okay, I saw Chukwudi's question. Chukwudi asked a question about um can you give an analogy of how to manage AI agent as a PM? How to manage AI agent as a PM? An analogy. Hmm, so basically, let's say you have an AI agent that let's not just say you manage a customer service AI agent, an AI agent that replies to customers, right? An AI agent that replies to customers automatically. Chooks. Let's say you manage an AI agent that replies to customers automatically. So, as a person managing an AI agent that replies to customers automatically means you'll be the one ensuring that the AI agent is replying in line with all the parameters, all the set parameters that has been put around it. It is not hallucinating. It is not going out of context. It is not. It is doing exactly what we want you to do, right? Again, I'm trying to use like layman terms, right? More like you are the supervisor for the AI. And if the AI is messing up, you are the one to bring it in check. Obviously, you're not talking to it like a human being. That's where understanding all the integrations that make up that AI agent to work. That's where understanding how those integrations work and how to edit them and how to update them. That's where those that will start to come in. So understanding how to go into the AI workflow, the agent's workflow, and make the thing that you've observed and what you want to update so that it does not continue to make those mistakes. Do you understand? That's what managing AI agents look like. Obviously, you won't be talking to it like a human being. No, you're not talking to it like a human being. You're just going to go into the agent's workflow, the agent's system flow, and then start making updates to anything that you've observed that the agent is doing that is going out of place. Do you understand? You
Yes,
you
I do. Thanks.
you deploy the agent again and you observe how the agent is able to, you know, based on the updated parameters or the updated workflow, you observe how it is delivering, and then you can be able to assign and say, okay, this agent is good, everything is working perfectly fine, things like that. So that's how managing AI agents is going to potentially look like. You'll be working with their tools, basically. So that's where the understanding of NH's, N8N, relevance AI, and understanding like AI automation keys. Those are where those things are going to come in, and their tools on a general note. Okay, let's take Victor's questions. Victor, over to you. We're wrapping up in a bit. Victor, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanji, for the
Yeah.
class. My question, I think you just partly answered it while answering Triple D's question, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask. Um, from the number one thing you talked about in the class, um, moving from thinking about features to thinking about AI capabilities. How does a
Right.
product manager handle the communication aspect? Like, do you need to be heavily technically inclined to be able to communicate? Take, for instance, the example of the bank statement you use.
Yeah.
A product manager might come up with that idea, but if he's not technically inclined, he might struggle with the technologies, the jargons to communicate to the engineering team how he wants it to be done or how they want it to be executed. So I'm asking, does a project manager or product manager rather need to be heavily technically inclined to be able to, communicate AI capabilities um, to the engineering team so that they can execute better?
No, you don't have to be technically inclined. You don't have to understand specific technical jargon, especially as a. So let me take it this from this angle. If you're a really generalist product manager, so like a product manager, you're not a specialist in any way, right? You don't have to be technically inclined. Your job is to be able to interpret the value you want to create, the problem you want to solve, who you want to solve the problem for, and then interpret it to the technical guys, right? They are the ones to convert the technical side and build it. especially as a generalist, right? Meaning you're a standard product manager. But now, if you categorically say you are an AI product manager, you know that's a different ballgame. Being a standard product manager and an AI product manager is not the same. As a standard product manager who is building AI products, you can actually know, you don't need to understand all the jargon to build an AI product as a standard product manager. But if you say you are an AI product manager, it means you have claimed that you are a specialist. So it only makes sense for you to understand all the jargons, right? You have to use all the terms. Oh, we're using open API keys, or we're doing this, or we're we're leveraging VAPI API to use our voice agents, blah, yada yada. You should be able to throw those terms, those terminologies left, right, and center. And when those terminologies are also being thrown at you, you should understand why they are being thrown. So if you're a specialist, if you claim to be a specialist, for example, maybe you're an AI product manager, like you say you are an AI product manager, or you're an agentic AI product manager, then you must understand those terms. You must know why those terms are being used. You must know when they are being used. You must know the nuances around their usage. Like you must understand it like a technical product manager. But if you are just a general product manager, but who is building something that leverages AI or building an AI product, you don't necessarily need to know all the terminologies. You just need to know, just like what every general product manager or every standard product manager would do, understand the problem you want to solve, understand the value you want to create, understand the people whom you want to solve the problem for, translate that understanding to the engineering team so that they understand it from a user perspective, and then they would then translate it technically and build. So a standard AI jargons, AI terminologies, the technical conversation around those terminologies, and you will still do well, right? But if you claim to be an AI product manager, I mean, you are saying, I'm an AI product manager, then obviously you cannot claim to be that and then not understand the nuances of those terminologies. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So if you want to specialize, then you have to go deeper. But if you don't necessarily want to specialize, then you can just be a product manager, but you just know how to build. Because at the end of the day, remember what I was telling Mr. Sunday? I said, fundamentally, what we are still doing is to solve problems and create value for the business. That's what we're still doing fundamentally. We're still just trying to solve problems and create value for the business. It's just that we are now leveraging AI capabilities, AI features, or AI experiences to do that same thing. Because fundamentally, what we're still doing is solve problems and create value. And that is still your job as a product manager, regardless of whether you are AI empowered or you are not AI empowered, whether you're an AI product manager specifically or not, right? You still need to solve problems and make money. You still need to solve problems and make money. You get, so that one will never change. And you don't necessarily need to be technical to do that. You don't necessarily need to be an AI expert to do that. And any product manager can actually build AI products. Any product manager, by the way, you don't need to be an AI product manager to build AI products. You don't even need to go and learn AI product management to build AI products. You just need to change your perspective from I want to solve problems, I want to create value by leveraging AI capabilities. That's how you need to change your frame. Just like the first point said, you shift your frame of product thinking from, I want to build products or build features, to how can I leverage AI capabilities to do that same thing. So that's why we call it AI empowered. That's why I didn't call it AI product manager. Being an AI product manager is a different ballgame. It's like you're a specialist. It's like being an AI product manager is like being a technical product manager or a growth product manager. That's what it is. You're a specialist, and that's a different ball game. But every normal product manager can be AI empowered, where you are a normal product manager, but you are leveraging the development of AI capabilities in your product to still solve your customer's problem or help your company to make more money. So you're still doing basic or standard product management, just that with a focus on leveraging AI tools, AI capabilities, AI experiences to make that happen. So please, and I like this question that you just asked, Victor. So please, not everybody needs to be an AI product manager, by the way, right? Just like I rightly said, not everybody needs to be. So except maybe you want to officially specialize, which is good. If you want to specialize, and obviously if you are specializing, that means that you must understand all the process of building AI products at a technical level, their APIs, their workflows, their process flows. You must understand all of those things at technical level. You must be able to relate to machine learning engineers. If you say you're an AI product manager, that's you being a specialist. But a normal product manager, a standard product manager, can still build AI products without necessarily being a specialist. Because all you're just doing is still the same thing a product manager is doing. Solve people's problem, help your company to make more money. You're just leveraging AI instead of doing it the normal way we've been doing it thus far. All right. So I guess that'll be all for today. If you are here and because I think we have some new people that are in the session. If you are here and you're not a product manager, I'm sure you are seeing how we are training some of those terms, right? And you want to go into product management, then I'll say you should send Fumi a message. If you want to go deeper, by the way, you can't just go into AI without understanding product management fundamentally, right? You can't go into AI without understanding product management fundamentally, right? You can't go into AI without understanding product. So if you are here, you are thinking about going deeper into product management, or you've never really taken a training in product management, then you want to send for me a message if you are interested in going deeper, right? Like Favor said earlier, Enoverlab offers product management training at a high level. So that's something you are considering, then send for me a message. Let me drop a number here. Yeah, welcome, Oyinye. I hope that this was insightful for everybody. If it was insightful for you, drop an emoji. If it was insightful for you, drop an emoji. I hope you learned one or two things, and I hope that this also changes your frame of how you think about your job, especially as a product manager. And for people who go into building with AI in mind, right? You can increase your salaries very quickly. So for those of us that are changing our frame of mind right now, what's the benefits to you right now? You can scale up your salaries very fast. That's the benefits. I know, but then working, right? We are all working to make money. So you can scale your salary very fast, especially in the international markets. If you go into international job boards now, who has noticed it? International job boards now, most of their product manager roles have some form of AI added. So they don't just want you, not necessarily that they want you to be an AI product manager, but they want you to understand how to build AI products or leverage AI capabilities. Has anybody noticed it? On international job boards, especially, not Nigerian job boards, like international jobs. Job, the money is. Job outside of Nigeria, that's where the money is, right? Most international product manager jobs now, they don't just want you to build products normally any longer. They want you to understand how to leverage AI capabilities, understand how to think with AI, how to leverage with AI, how to solve problems with AI, how to make money with AI. So it doesn't mean you are an AI product manager now directly. Doesn't mean you're an AI product manager directly, right? But they want you to be able to leverage AI, however. So if you are looking into the international job markets, I highly recommend you think in this direction of leveraging AI significantly, especially in the international job market. And companies are I saw statistics from PwC. Companies are paying over 50% increase in salaries than standard product management roles today. Over 50%. So for example, if somebody was earning $150,000 per annum, right, over 50% means if the person now understands how to build with AI and build with AI in mind and build with AI in capabilities and in delivery, the person can move from a 150K a year salary to 225K a year salary. It's just like the wave have not gotten to Nigerian companies heavily yet. Right, the wave has not gotten to Nigerian companies heavily yet. But as all of us all know now, it's better to earn money in USD than to earn in Naira. Even though getting USD jobs are harder, but still, it's not impossible. People are still getting the USD jobs. So yes, so that I can let us go. It's 8:55. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this was insightful. Again, I saw that a lot of people dropped that it was insightful. Glad to hear that it was insightful. Start taking action on this knowledge. If you're a newbie here, someone who is just starting your career in product management, then you want to reach out to Fumi to sign up for the product management class. We have product management classes that you can join so you understand the fundamentals. And also, if you are someone who wants to go deeper in AI product management, then you want to probably join the agentic AI class. Enoverlab also has a specialized agentic AI class that you can join if you want to go deeper into that. You want to build AI agents, manage AI agents, understand how AI agents work, AI agents workflow. Again, send for me a message. I already dropped her phone number on the chat. You can just message her. She will guide you all of that in thank you favor. So for those that want to go deeper, for PMs that want to go deeper into agentic AI precisely, because like I said, that's a specialization, right? So for those that want to go precisely, then you can go that route. And then if you're a newbie looking to understand product management fundamentally, you can also reach out to Fumi for the regular classes. She would guide you through all the process. Thank you, everybody. The recording of this session will be uploaded as well, will be shared. So in case anybody wants to listen to it again, we would share it on our platform so you can re-listen to it again for those that want to. Right? And without further ado, we can call this session a wrap. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a rainy day in Lagos. I'm currently on the road and I'm driving and having this session. Omo, how did I manage to drive and have this session? People are supposed to buy me code. I'll be hot pepper soup. As I get to my house like this. All right, everyone. Good night, everyone. Have yourself a good night's rest. Enjoy your weekend. Sleep tight. Glad to hear that, Modupe. Awesome.
Okay, good night. Thank you.
All right. Good night. Good night, Mr. Sunday. Good night, everyone. You're welcome.
Good night, sir.
All right. Good night. Hey, good night, Damilola. Good night.